What's up, guys? Sean Fowler here to Speak Up Sports. Hopefully, everyone's having a good Sunday. It's March 13th. And yeah, I'm talking NFL. You see right there in the bottom left corner, NFL free agent frenzy, right? We understand NFL is an all year round sport. Okay. We understand that, what was it, 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, exactly today. Actually, it was a month ago, 4 weeks ago today, on February 13th, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. Okay, I think it was 23-20. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp was the MVP of that game, and the season ended there. But hey, a month later, we still got free agents. We got the scouting combine. We got the NFL draft coming up in a few, maybe I believe it's next month in April. So it's exciting. I'm excited. The NFL is here all year long, like I said, and of course, more this past week, we got the news that hey, a lot of quarterbacks are being shipped off. Okay, quarterbacks being shipped away. Um, Also, we have running backs, receivers, contracts. People are getting shipped away, re-signed deals. All these things are happening. But what I want to talk about first is the guy over there in Seattle, or I should say he was in Seattle, Russell Wilson, my favorite quarterback. Currently in the NFL, I just love what he stands for, his faith and everything like that, and also his ability to play the quarterback position. To me, he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks of all time. He's a smart guy, doesn't really turn the ball over too much. Has a Super Bowl ring, went to 2 Super Bowls. This is the first time he's ever had a losing season in his NFL career, playing 10 years. And this is, I believe, maybe the second or third time at the most that he's missed the postseason. And he missed 4 games this year, 4 or 5 games this year for the Seattle Seahawks. But hey, I'm just going to give you the stats real quick. 25 touchdowns, 3,100 yards, 6 interceptions, and they went 7-10. Okay, great. I'm glad the sound is good. Thank you, Pops. So again, I just want to talk about Russell Wilson because the Seattle Seahawks, hey, it's, we seen last year, okay, we're not really sure. He got him the contract 2 seasons ago. The whole thing was let Russ cook. Let's see what he can do. He had over 40 touchdowns in the 2020 season. I think maybe 12 or 13 interceptions, and the Seattle Seahawks, 12-4. They were the second seed. But they ended up they were 1 and done against the Los Angeles Rams last year, NFC West division foe. And, again, coming into this past offseason, coming into 2021 offseason, excuse me, I should say, there were talks about trade rumors. If I were to get traded, here are the teams: Dallas, Chicago, maybe the Saints, teams like that. But at the same time, we end up seeing what happened, and Russell Wilson still signed with the Seahawks, so he still played with them this past season, but they weren't that good. 7-10, he missed 4 games. And even when Russell Wilson was there because of the finger injury that he sustained in the Thursday night game against the Los Angeles Rams, and it didn't seem like it was the same Russ. Again, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions aren't bad, but are you still that guy? To me, I think Russell Wilson, when healthy, is still a top 5 quarterback, even though we got other guys, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, now Joe Burrow. People are throwing Justin Herbert's name. I say slow down. Herbert's okay. He's a young guy in Los Angeles, but you got to make a playoff. You got to make a playoff game before you get with the big boys in the top 5. Aaron Rodgers. Now Tom Brady's back, as you see on the ticker. I go on and on. But again, Russell Wilson, to me, I still think he's still a top 10 quarterback at the least. I want to show what the Denver Broncos are getting themselves into with bringing a guy like Russell Wilson. We see that bomb. He has one of the best deep ball passes in NFL history, at least definitely since he's been in the league. You've seen him connecting with Tyler Lockett there. These are top 10 plays of his career so far with the Seattle Seahawks. I remember that game, the Saturday afternoon game against the then Super Bowl bound NFC Carolina Panthers. And this is just what the Denver Broncos are going to end up, having as their quarterback. Again, this is 2016, week 11. Russell can catch the ball as well against Philadelphia. I remember where I was at that time as well. So, when it comes towards Russell Wilson, I still think you get a guy who's, besides the fluky injury with messing up his finger, against the Los Angeles Rams, like I said earlier this season. I mean, he's been pretty solid. He's been pretty healthy, and he's been pretty durable as well. So you get a guy who he doesn't turn over the ball too much. He has one of, again, you see that bomb against the Arizona Cardinals. He's a guy who can he can make the plays. He can make the plays with his feet. Obviously, he can He doesn't really take a lot. And I just think for the Denver Broncos, it's just about having a quarterback that they can rely on. Ever since Peyton Manning, when they end up winning the Super Bowl, we had the Paxton Lynch, we had the Drew Lock recently, Teddy Bridgewater, Trevor Siemian. But these are the guys that so when it comes to it, have a top 5 defense. They have a guy, Melvin Gordon, one of the best running backs to me in a game, arguably top 15, top 16 back. They have the weapons in Jerry Jeudy, one of the better route runners in the game today. The receiver position, Cortland Sutton, he just got a big contract, a big, strong guy, kind of like a DK Metcalf. Stop the road a little bit. I think you guys pretty much get the point. But so the Denver Broncos have a lot of weapons that Russ can deal with. Could be towards a force on the offense. What they do for what he. I'm excited to see Russ and the Broncos. This the matchups in the division. Russell Wilson that we have on the sports broadcasting. We always talk about who was better, Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes. Some years ago, I should say, a few years ago, I should say, because Patrick Mahomes now is just, he's been great since he came in. But Russ versus Patrick Mahomes is going to be a really good matchup to see twice a year. Russ versus, like I said, the young guy in Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. These two quarterbacks are gunslingers, Russ and Justin Herbert. I'm excited to see that twice a year. Even Russ and Derek Carr. People don't really give Derek Carr a lot of respect. I think he's starting to earn my respect more, this past season, because he went to the, he made the playoffs, barely lost against Cincinnati Bengals, came to that last second game-sealing interception. But, I respect Derek Carr. I think he might, he earned my respect. I would just say that. Statistically, he had a good season as well. So, again, going back and forth, I'm just excited to see the matchups, that we're going to see when it comes towards Russell Wilson entering that Denver Broncos uniform, putting that on, and really honestly falling behind the Peyton Manning, because, again, they haven't even had somewhat of a mediocre quarterback besides really a Teddy Bridgewater that I feel like for the Denver Broncos. And when you have Russell Wilson, who's already, in a lot of people's eyes, a Hall of Famer just because of what he's did in Seattle and, the type of leader he is and things, in that case, I'm just really excited to see him go to the AFC and battle against even guys that's outside the division, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I'm trying to think of some other guys, Lamar Jackson. The list goes on and on. So I'm really excited to see Russell go to Denver. And that really blew me by surprise, because Seattle was my second team really because of Russell Wilson. As an Atlanta Falcons fan, when we don't make the playoffs, I'm pulling for my guy Russ. But he's being traded to Denver. So, hey, maybe that might be my second team as well. So let's transition to the other quarterbacks who also, re-signed with another team, and that's Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, you see it on the ticker, says Carson the Commander. For those of you that don't know, Washington team changed their name again. They're not the Washington Redskins, obviously, from 2 years ago. They're not the Washington football team. Daniel Snyder, the owner, thought about, hey, let's say the Commanders. Let's go with that. So Carson the Commander. He's supposed to be commanding the huddle. Is he the guy? Is Carson Wentz going to be the guy? Now, last year, he really didn't have a bad season statistically. 27 touchdowns, over 3,000 passing yards, 7 interceptions. We've seen what he did in Philly. His last 2 years were awful. But Jalen Hurts was, to me, they had to draft a guy in Jalen Hurts in the second round, the 2020 season. To me, honestly, I like Jalen Hurts. I'm a fan of his. I think he's honestly underrated. He shows leadership. He's a dual threat quarterback. He can make the throws, if you give him enough time as well. But again, we're talking about Carson Wentz. So we know what he was in Philadelphia in that 2020 season. He was awful. He had to be benched. And it just seemed like he lost his confidence. And playing in the NFL, playing football competitively, period, you always have to have confidence. And if you don't have that, especially in the NFL, at the quarterback position, you'll make erratic moves. You'll make erratic decisions. Throw the ball off your back foot, which is a no-no in the NFL. And we've seen that happen with Carson Wentz a lot in his days of Philadelphia. And sometimes it peeped up, even against even when he was the Colts quarterback. But my point though is that Carson Wentz, he has a lot of he has pros and cons. And the pros of Carson Wentz is he still has a big arm, right? He still has a big arm. He can make the throws. And, these are just some of the highlights again from this past season with Carson Wentz as an Indianapolis coach. He still has the big arm. He can still escape sacks and show you why he was potentially going to be the MVP in the 2017 season. Again, he can escape the sacks. Like I said, he has a strong arm, but some of the risks that Carson Wentz has is, again, he just hit back foot. I remember it was against the Sunday night game against the Tennessee Titans. He was getting sacked in the end zone. He just threw the ball up in the air, tried to get it away. And one of the linebackers scooped and scored it in for a pick six. So those are things that as a veteran quarterback at this point in time, you can't have those silly interceptions. You can't fumble the ball as much as he has, because I believe his season he had the most turnovers from any quarterback. He had the most turnovers by any quarterback in the league in 2020, or probably one of the most turnovers, I should say, by any quarterback at that time, and he didn't even finish the whole season. Now, I see one of Carson needs an eye of the tiger. That's right. I agree, man. It's about that confidence. It's about being a leader, and looking in your eyes and saying, that Carson Wentz or our quarterback, whoever it is going to lead tight. If we need to win, that hey, he's going to get it done. And that, just like the guy I talked about right before this was Russell Wilson. The game is we're down 9 points and it's 3 minutes left. That's likely we're not going to come back and win. But he thrives in making the team believe. So I just think with Carson Wentz, I think he's talented. We see right there him escaping the towards the plays, and yeah, I see it. But for maybe it is kind of the plays. And being a quarterback in the NFL, you have to be consistent. And I guess Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, be signing Jimmy G better than Carson Wentz. I don't think he's as a dual threat. I don't think he's as much of a dual threat than Carson Wentz. I know he's been to the NFC Championship games, but I just don't see Jimmy G really being much of G. But that's just me. So, well, Carson Wentz, the trade, or I should say the signing, is it really going? Are you really going to improve? I say maybe 8-9. You still have Dallas to, whatever the Cowboys are bringing back. You still have the Cowboys to worry about. You still have the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, even NFC East is an NFC least. It's a bad division. You still last year. I don't know if Carson Wentz really elevates the Washington Commanders into being a big division, or even the NFC conference. It's a beautiful one by John, the running backs also. So, that being said, we've seen what Carson Wentz can do. I think he's a solid quarterback. I have him in the middle of the pack. 17-ish as far as ability. You can put Carson, you're going to get. Are you going to throw a couple interceptions a day? Are you going to throw off your back foot? Are you going to throw an interception because you want to evade a sack? Not take the safety or whatever it is. So Carson, I'd rather have Matt Ryan or Russell Wilson or somebody. Yeah, I said Matt Ryan. I'm a Fox fan, but transition also to another quarterback, plays for the Green Bay Packers, still playing for the Green Bay Packers. After all this time, it's Aaron Rodgers. How do y'all feel about Aaron Rodgers? I see some of these comments. I'm gonna address. I'm glad you guys are commenting on here because I love comments. I love seeing other people's reactions, comments, questions, whatever it might be. So I want to see what you guys have to say about Aaron Rodgers. What are your thoughts on him? Now, to me, Aaron Rodgers, we know he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt. We know he's one of the best throwers of the football of all time. We heard other, analysts and people, football aficionados, all these things. We understand that he gets the praise and credit, but at the same time, I say this: Aaron Rodgers, when it comes towards the postseason, I think it might be a little overrated. He won the Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl MVP. I remember what he did to my Atlanta Falcons in the 20 postseason. He destroyed us. I think it was 48-21 was the final score. But at the same time, where Aaron Rodgers is, besides that season, you got beat against the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship game when you're up 19-7 with 5 minutes left. And I understand the onside kick. We understand what happened in that game against Seattle, but there's plenty of chances that there. If you guys remember that I believe it was 2014 NFC Championship game, Rodgers wasn't that good either, though, and they really left points on the board. And you end up getting beat against Colin Kaepernick some years prior before that. Colin Kaepernick, who's not in the league, who should be at least get a shot. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. I see him still trying to work out. Support that for a job. But you got beat against Colin Kaepernick twice. His first season was against you, Aaron Rodgers, and you end up getting destroyed. He had over 180 rushing yards, over 300 passing yards. You got beat on the Saturday night. Then the following year, you got beat again against San Francisco, Colin Kaepernick in Lambeau. Colin Kaepernick destroyed that team again. And again, I know it's not just a one-man show in football. I played football majority of my life. It doesn't player, but I believe when it comes towards legacy, you have to nitpick certain things, and certain players, like the quarterback position, they have to show up and be the best they can possibly be. So when it comes towards Aaron Rodgers, I just think he's a great player, but at the same time, I just I think the case for him as far as I just think he needs to continue to show it and show exactly why he needs to be that, why he is, say. So with Aaron Rodgers, again, I think he's great, but the Green Bay Packers, they want to see, are we going to win a Super Bowl? Like I said, I'm line with them losing close playoff games and getting getting pounced by teams they shouldn't get pounced by, like the San Francisco 49ers again this past season with Jimmy G and that is stout defense. What was the score? First drive. So Aaron Rodgers this past season is fourth MVP, 37 receptions, 41 last two seasons combined. He's okay. We're back. Like it was buffing a little bit. The guy mentioned Jansen Harris. We had this Aaron Rodgers, and of course, he's a about the be one time in the before 4 interceptions this past season. I mean, obviously we see why he's one of the highlights of Aaron Rodgers. I just wanted to why he's that guy. But at the same time, it's like they just want to like that other number 12 over there. And but that's what we're going to transition to. About Antonio Brown right now. Okay. By Ryan Clark, changes. Just give him a whole promotion. Would you like if you played in Dallas? It's a sexy team, man. I'm gonna get my surgery and we go. So I was just impressing Antonio Brown what he said pretty much. But when it comes towards AB, my point was that we seen Amari Cooper just got traded away to Cleveland because of all the money, and he didn't show up in big games, as a lot of Cowboy players or fans, say. So when it comes to Antonio Brown to Dallas, is that a good look to me? Personally, I want to sign Antonio Brown because I think the Cowboys are already scrutinized enough. There's already talks with the Dak Prescott. I see a comment by AC Reed on here, man. Thank you for commenting and giving your 2 cents. Be the best look because it just bring too much of a distraction just because of his presence. And he's a stud. He's a baller. We're talking just that, then yeah, give him a 1-year deal. But for Cowboys, I don't. If this was that Cowboys team, you don't have those in the team. So I just feel I don't think it, but it will be a top 15 to 20. I'm not really gonna go by in the lead. I think for the Dallas Cowboys. Bring him.
Yeah, it's bar with it.
Yeah.
Also, and when you do it, play.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, great job. Keep going. What's up? Speak up.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. So that being said, Tom Brady's back as well. My thoughts on that as a Falcons fan. I'm kind of tired of it. I wish Antonio Brown, I wish Tom Brady kind of stayed retired. As a football fan, I'm glad. As a fan, I'm glad he's back. Just because storylines or whatnot. Hopefully, as a Falcons fan, excuse me, we can beat them. I was trying to think of the stat that he has against us. He's undefeated against us Cowboys. Tom Brady's undefeated against us in the Cowboys, but it is what it is. Tom Brady's back. God bless him. I hope he doesn't get hurt, but I want to feel a little bruised up, man. I want us to get at least one game against Tom Brady this year. So that being said, I'm gonna read some of you guys' comments real quick and see what you guys have to say. Brown, I agree. AB, I think it'll be a headache for the Cowboys. I don't think it's worth it. They just re-signed Michael Gallup as well. They have CD Lamb, it's Antonio Brown, Dalton Schultz. I don't really think they're in need. I don't think they're in need of a receiver right now. So you're a Cowboys fan, AC? Okay. What do you think Dallas picking them up for a few years until we can get some young guys in the draft? 2 veteran linebackers on free agency market right now that the Raiders and Seahawks released. Yeah, Bobby Wagner. Man, I mean, you guys let go of Jalen Smith last season, I believe, and also Leighton Vander Esch. I don't think he's going to resign. So, Bobby Wagner would definitely be a good pickup for the Dallas Cowboys. That's because I think he's still one of the best linebackers in today's game. You know what I mean? So I think if the Cowboys got him, that'd be huge. I don't want y'all to get him. I'd rather the Falcons get him. But for the Cowboys, I mean, that'd be huge for them. I can't think of the other linebacker for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. If you got his name, cool. But I think that would definitely be big for the Cowboys to get a Bobby Wagner because, again, he's one of the best linebackers today. And he's I think he's still in his prime. And again, it seems like Seattle, they pretty much they're just trying to reload or rebuild, I should say, because you let go two of your best players and Russell Wilson and Jamal Adams. I mean, what is that saying for the team? What is that saying for this season? Got Drew Lock and maybe Teddy Bridgewater as the quarterbacks on the team, I believe, right now. But I mean, you can't really be expecting to go far with them, to be honest. So unless you get a Deshaun Watson or somebody else, a veteran quarterback that's legit, and I say those guys aren't scrubs, but that's been a winner, then sure. But other than that, I just don't really see Seattle trying to really win right now. But all that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys looking at this. I know we kind of had some technical difficulties, but it's all good. We still got through it. You guys have a blessed night.